Hello, Foothill math teachers. I created this quick video. The purpose of the video is just to show you if you're going to use the Kanold textbook and you want to use the online interface. In fact, your students will need to use the online interface so they can access the textbook at home. So it'd be a good idea if you went through and just tried it at least as a student, but then I'll show you how you can use some of the features as a teacher as well. So we'll start off by going to my.hrw.com. I think just about all of you already created an account there. If you didn't create an account, then go ahead and create an account and log in there. So once you're logged into your HRW account, if you're ready to add some classes, you can go to Manage Classes. And this gives you a chance to add a class. There's a menu over on the side where you can do some other things, delete a class, add students, and so on. So I'm going to add a class called Algebra 2, third period, 10th graders. And let's see, I guess since it's a geometry, I'm logged in as a geometry teacher, so I'm going to change that to a geometry class, third period, and say add. And what we're going to do is, I'll show you, so that you can log in and see what the student sees, I'm going to create an account that I would use as a fictitious student. I can log in then as a student and see what the assignments look like and how I can access the online textbook and things like that. Okay, so I'm done adding the class. Now, I already have a geometry class, so I'm going to call it Geometry 3. Okay, so it's created the class, and now I can add students. It automatically puts me in the Add Students window. So it gives me a chance to add students down here. I'm just going to type in one fictitious student name like John Doe and student ID 234567. I'm going to add that student. And this is the roster view, which you can get to from the side view here, view a roster of a class. And so this is the student name, that's the login. Actually, let's see, the username is jdoex366, password B3R8X. That's the information that you would want to give the student so they could log in. I'm just using this as a student login account for myself. And so I'm all done with that. Now, if I wanted to add my entire class of students, I'll show you, want to add more students. Now, eventually, all our students will be populated under this link. It should happen in the next couple of days. That's what they're promising. So you can keep checking in here. It's now Friday the 21st, and they're supposed to be completing it today. So within the next few days, hopefully we see them there. So if you click on that link, you will see a whole bunch of Foothill students. I looked through the list and I didn't see any of my current students, and I think these are students that, older students that have graduated, and maybe they were associated with this publisher when they were in middle school several years ago or something like that. So my students are not on here yet. Hopefully they do show up sometime over break, and that way you can grab your students from here one by one, move them to the right side, and add all of them that way. Otherwise, if your students never do show up on this list, you can add them one by one, just like we added the John Doe account. Okay, so now let's go back to our home screen, the dashboard. And if I'm ready to create an assignment now for this fictitious class, I go to Assignments, And there are several options here for what kind of category. Homework is the one I want to choose. The default, it comes up as tests and quizzes the first time. I'm going to switch it to homework, and that way I can assign one of the homework type activities that was there. Maybe I'll take my class to the computer lab and try to get 75% of it done in the computer lab, and then see if they can finish the rest of it online at home or on their cell phones, something like that. And so let's say I'm in module 6.3 triangle congruence. So I want to assign that. Click on assign. And I just noticed over here on my browser, this is something I struggled with. I couldn't figure out why nothing was happening when I was clicking on assign. This little red X here and that yellow flag that popped up is because I have some pop-ups that are being blocked from the Chrome browser. And so if I click on that, I can say I want to always allow pop-ups from my hrw.com. And now when I click on this, it gives me another screen which I can enter in when this assignment begins, when it ends, and some other parameters and things like that. So I'm going to start it. I'm going to make it always available. Always available. You could do certain times that it's available, starting and ending times, and so on. I'm not going to change anything here. I think I'll leave this, except allow students to view their score after this test. I'm going to say yes. We can let them see their score, but no, I'm not going to allow them to see the correct answers on missed items. That would be if it was a test anyway. This is a homework assignment, so it doesn't really matter. Submit. Okay, so now if I go back home, which I can get to from Holt McDougall Online, that takes me back to my dashboard. I see a few assignments here. One that I created for my Math 2 class, and now here's one that I created for geometry. And I'm not sure why I can't click on that. You know what? I think what I did is I didn't assign it to any students. That's probably why. So I want to go back to assignments and see if I can edit that. I need to assign it to some students. And so if I go to view all assignments made, show only active assignments, let's see what comes up. There it is. There's the triangle congruence. I want to edit the settings because I forgot to add any students. Well, it does show that that was assigned to John Doe. Okay, maybe everything's okay. Let's go ahead and this time I'm going to log out and log in as the student John Doe. So I'm just going to go back to the home screen, go to Manage Classes, and View Class Roster. I think I added that assignment under Geometry. There it is. And so we're going to have to log in as that student, JDoe V359, and login password S2P3S. Okay, so if we go back home, log out, and this time I'm going to log back in as JDoe B359 with that password S2P3S. All right, good. So now if I log in as this student, I see that there is an assignment on my dashboard. If I had logged in prior to this, there would be nothing here under my assignments, but this assignment is here ready for me to start. Notice also this is where the student can get to the interactive student edition. They can pick whatever unit they're on and view any of the lessons here. Or they can go to student resources and print the PDF of the student edition. And so that gives them a couple options. This gives them the PDF that they could print, whereas the other option that I just showed you is all online under the interactive student edition. Okay, so if the student's ready to start this assignment, click on Start. And again, you need to make sure the pop-up blockers are off in order for them to access this. So doing it in the lab the first time might be a good idea. And then they can go through a series of questions. I'm just going to randomly pick some answers, and then the student can check the answer, which I didn't get right, and they can try it again, or they can see an example and see the, that's not a very good example because there are no steps written out. Let me see if I can find another problem that's got more steps to it. These aren't very good. I didn't choose a very good set of problems. There was another exercise that I was working on that had a lot of detail written out, problems that were a step-by-step process, and the online test did a great job. Let me see if this one does. If I go to example, yeah, it's showing me step by step how I would use the distance formula to find these lengths. And that's the kind of detail that you can get for some problems, or that the student can get if they're not sure how to do a problem. And so once they see the example, then when they try to go back to the question, there's nothing there, so they're going to click on try another, and it's going to create a new problem similar to the one that was just shown in the example. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of that. I'll say turn it in, which I have none of them correct, but just so you can see the report. Okay, so the student does as many problems as they can do, and then now I'm going to log back in as the teacher so you can see what you can see. All right, so now I'm back in, logged in as the teacher, and I can see that in the geometry class, this assignment was assigned to one student, and 1 out of 1 students did complete it. And so if I want to see the results of that, I can go to reports for geometry, and see the class progress report. And it shows me that John Doe got 0% correct on this particular assignment. So that's about all I've played with, but that might get you a start if you wanted to play around with it as a teacher and as a student. Hopefully this helps you out.